By the time this video comes out, the NHL season would have started. And of course, with the new season, there's new storylines and the question of who each team's best player is. Today I'm going to go over who I believe to be the best player on each team in the Eastern Conference, with the video about the West coming soon. Also, just to clarify here, we're not talking about legacy or who necessarily had the best season last year, although that is a factor. For example, Leon Draisaitl arguably had a better season than McDavid last year, but obviously McDavid is still the better player. That's just who I think has the most talent and will have the best year for the team. Let's start with the Boston Bruins. 24-25 was a rough season for the Bruins, and got even rougher for Boston fans when their captain, Brad Marchand, was traded to the eventual Cup winners before the deadline. But as always, David Pastrňák had another great year. Coming off a dominant 24-25 season where he posted 52 goals and 54 assists, winning the Rocket Richard, Pastrňák continues to be one of the league's elite offensive threats. He's not just a scorer either, he's a matchup nightmare, his one-timer is lethal on the power play, and he still creates chances even when his opponents key in on him. This is probably gonna be another rough year for the Bruins, so we'll have to see how Pasta plays with the lack of depth around him, but I don't think there's much to worry about. Buffalo's playout drought might still be alive, but Rasmus Dahlin is the kind of player you build a winner around. Last season, Dahlin put up 17 goals and 68 points in 73 games, logging over 24 minutes a night. That's elite defenseman territory. He ranked top 10 among NHL D-men in scoring, and continued to show off his skating, physicality, and puck-moving skills. He's dramatically improved since his early days, and he's just 25 years old now, and already has seen a lot of talented teammates move around, so you gotta hope for his sake, and for the sake of Buffalo fans, they finally end the 14-year playoff drought. And that is probably a pipe dream this year. You could also make an argument for Tage Thompson, who is an elite shooter, but Dahlin is the one who drives transition and shuts down top opponents and controls tempo. It's the full package. When the Red Wings needed someone to lead them out of their rebuild, Dylan Larkin answered. Alright, maybe their rebuild isn't done yet, but I think they're close. He posted 30 goals and 70 points playing all 82 games last season, the second best year of his career, and played in all situations, including tough defensive assignments. What sets Larkin apart isn't just speed, it's compete level. He consistently ranks among the top forwards in zone entries and takeaways, and his leadership on and off the ice has helped shape Detroit's identity. Yeah, Lucas Raymond is flashy, yes, Moritz Seider is foundational on the back end. Alex DeBrincat had an identical point title and could definitely be argued for the spot, but Larkin is still the guy in my opinion. I think this is the year the Red Wings finally break through and get a playoff spot. For the Panthers, I do just want to clarify that I believe Alexander Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk are better players, but they will be missing a good chunk of the season, so I just want to talk about other players for now. If you thought Sam Reinhart's 23-24 season, where he scored 57 goals and 94 points was a fluke, he proved you wrong again. Last year, he followed up with 39 goals, 42 assists, and 81 points. And most importantly, he was Florida's most reliable scorer in the playoffs. Reinhart stepped up in the finals, and he had a 4-goal performance in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final to clinch the win. He's lethal on the power play, extremely intelligent away from the puck, and can play both wing and center. Reinhart's evolved from a top 6 piece into a true franchise pillar. Now again, when Barkov and Tkachuk do return, things will be different, and you can make an argument for the Panthers goaltender now as well, Sergei Bobrovsky, but Reinhart is just such a great player. Montreal's rebuild finally ended with them clinching a wildcard spot earlier this year, and part of that is because their captain, Nick Suzuki. He registered 30 goals and a career-high 89 points last season while handling the hardest minutes on the team, top-line matchups, defensive zone starts, and heavy special teams usage. He plays a smart, responsible game, and his ability to control pace and find open lanes has helped elevate line mates like Cole Caulfield. Suzuki is also among the league's most underrated two-way centers, finishing top 20 in takeaways and top 5 among forwards in block shots. He's not flashy, but he's essential, and the Canadiens also traded for a defenseman Noah Dobson in the offseason, who is a great pickup, but I'm still going to go with Suzuki here. Now we have the Ottawa Senators, and I'm going to go with Brady Tkachuk. The Senators captain scored 29 goals and had 55 points in 72 games last season, and while those numbers don't jump off the page, he continues to rank among the league's leader in hits, net front presence, and penalties drawn. He's a throwback power forward with modern instincts, someone who could dominate a shift physically and then bury a wrister from the slot seconds later. He also became an American hero in the Four Nations face-off. While Tim Stützle had a solid season and is still blossoming into a star, and Jake Sanderson, who also had a very good season, Brady's leadership, offense, and physicality make him the best player on this team that just had their first playoff appearance in years, and is looking to do more. Now for the Tampa Bay Lightning, this was one of the easiest choices in the entire video. It's Nikita Kucherov. Tampa has plenty of talent with Jake Gensel, Andrei Vasilevsky, Victor Hedman, Braden Point, but Kucherov is just on another level. He led the entire NHL in points last season with 121, which was somehow worse than his previous season where he scored 144 while having 100 assists. These are going to be Hart numbers most years, but he's missed out on the award both times. But what makes him so good? Vision, patience, timing. He does a great job running the power play. He's great one-on-one, and he makes elite defenders look like AHL call-ups. Toronto Maple Leafs, and this was actually a tough choice between Auston Matthews and William Nylander, but I'm gonna go with Matthews. The Leafs captain is coming off a down year where he played in just 67 games and scored just 33 goals with 78 points. It was the first time since he was 21 where he scored less than 40 goals, and he still had a very good season. Remember, Matthew scored almost 70 goals recently, and he silenced anyone who questioned his consistency, because even when he has down years, those are still great numbers. He also continues to evolve defensively, finishing top 15 in Selke voting, showing how much he's grown into a true 200-foot center. Now, Nylander did have more points and even more goals, and you could definitely argue him, but I just feel like Matthews is the better player. For the Carolina Hurricanes, I'm going to go with the best Sebastian Aho in the league. Last season, Aho racked up 29 goals and 74 points in 79 games. It's not flashy, but it's effective. He led the Hurricanes in scoring once again, showing once again why he's their most important forward. And what makes Aho special isn't just his numbers, it's his hockey IQ. He reads the play at an elite level, supports defensively, kills penalties, and drives offense at 5-on-5. He's also a playoff performer and finally led the Canes to their first conference final win after losing 15 straight games in the ECF. Yeah, I don't mean series, I just mean a singular game. And while Andrei Svechnikov has superstar upside, Aho remains the most trusted and complete player on the roster. Columbus has had its share of turmoil, coaching changes, roster shakeups, underwhelming seasons, and of course the tragic passing of Johnny Gaudreau, who likely would get the spot on the list if he was still with us. But for the past couple years, Zach Werenski has turned into a very solid player and really broke out in the 24-25 season. He posted just over a point per game and had almost 27 minutes of ice time a game. That's just elite workhouse territory, especially considering the lack of consistency around him. Werenski isn't a flashy player, but quietly leading the Blue Jackets to relevancy as they continue to make strides towards getting a playoff spot. I also got to give a nod to Kirill Marchenko, who finally had his breakout season. For the Devils, I'm going with the obvious pick, Jack Hughes. While he has never recreated the heights of his 22-23 season and has dealt with injuries, when healthy he is more than a point per game player. In just 62 games last season, Hughes tallied 27 goals and 70 points. He's nearly impossible to contain, weaving through defenders, creating off the rush, and making highlight reel plays weekly. He's transformed the Devils from a lottery team to a legitimate playoff threat. Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt are foundational pieces, and Bratt has arguably been better the past couple seasons, but a fully healthy Jack Hughes is definitely the Devils' best player. Don't let last season's injury-shorting campaign fool you. Matthew Barzal is still the Islanders' top dog. He only played 30 games, but before last year, he got 80 points and consistently has been a little less point per game player. And when healthy, his speed and creativity are second to none on the roster. Barzal's puck control and zone entries are elite, and his chemistry with Bo Horvat, when both are healthy, really make New York scoring much better. There's also a strong case for Ilya Sorokin, one of the league's best goalies a couple years ago, but he has regressed, and I still think that Barzal is just the Islanders' offensive identity, so I just gotta give the nod to him here. There are plenty of high-end players in Manhattan, Artemi Panarin, Igor Shesterkin, JT Miller, but the most indispensable Ranger in my opinion is Adam Fox. The 2021 Norris Trophy winner posted 10 goals and 61 points in 24-25 despite missing a few games due to injury, and this being a down year. His blend of offensive creation and defensive reliability make him a top 3 defenseman in the league, and once again, at least in my opinion, I think Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes are better, but I don't think it's crazy at all to put Fox right after. And I think he's really underrated at this point too. Like, I've seen people have him like towards the bottom of the top 10, and if you actually watch him play, he just does so much for the Rangers. He's one of the best overall defensemen and anchors the power play and penalty kill, and just creates a lot of offense for anyone in general, but especially for a defenseman. Artemi Panarin is obviously better offensively and is a lock for around 90 points every year, but he is a liability defensively, while Fox is an all-around great player. The Flyers are still rebuilding, and it's probably going to be a couple years before they even compete for a playoff spot, but it doesn't mean they don't have any bright spots. Their biggest bright spot is Travis Konecny. He scored 24 goals and added 52 assists last season for a career-best 76 points, while playing in every game while being important to the power play. Konecny plays with edge, forechecks hard, and brings a much-needed bite to a young Flyers team that's still finding its identity. Navi Mikov had an impressive rookie season and could definitely take the spot in the future, but for now I gotta go with Konecny. Somehow, someway, Sidney Crosby is still the best player on the Penguins and arguably one of the best in the entire NHL. At 37 years old, Crosby put up 33 goals and 91 points last season. That's just crazy for a player nearing 40 on a really bad team. His defensive play remains elite, he wins key faceoffs, and he led the Penguins in both even strength and power play production. With Malkin and Letang aging alongside him and the Erik Karlsson experiment still finding its footing, it's going to be another rough year for the Penguins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crosby gets 90 points again. And finally, we have the Washington Capitals, and I'm going to go with Alex Ovechkin. Yes, he's 40, yes, the pace is slowed, but don't let the noise fool you. Alex Ovechkin is still the Capitals' best player, albeit Dylan is not far behind, and I wouldn't really argue with you much if you said he's better. I think they're probably neck and neck at this point. He scored 44 goals last season at 39 years old, and of course broke the all-time goal scoring record. I think that's worth mentioning. He also led the Caps to the 1 seed in the East after he kind of looked done in the playoffs the year before. And like I said, Dylan Strome and also John Carlson play vital roles, but Ovechkin's presence still commands the game. Opposing teams still game plan around him, and in Washington, he's more than a legend, he's still arguably the most impactful player. And that's why I think he's the best team on every Eastern Conference team. There's a few of these you could argue, some of these I'm not 100% sure on, but let me know who you think the best player is on all these teams, and also let me know your picks for the Western Conference. I'll try to have that video out next week. If I had to guess, this video is probably coming out maybe a few days into the NHL season starting, so I highly doubt anything has changed at this point. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe, as I've started the channel recently and I'm trying to build up an audience here. Thank you for watching Hockey Domain, and I'll see you next time.